So, gosh, it's been fantastic, really. I mean, I had a rough period, which I totally expected because I tend to be on the depressed side occasionally anyway. I struggle with some depression. So I knew that I was going to, be on a roller coaster. And I think I was telling somebody last night, around day 15 was the swelling really started coming down. And because, before that, I was pretty swollen, especially down here. And having been a little chubby child and being teased a lot, that it just brought up all these, seeing my face like that again, it brought up childhood trauma from that, and so so when that swelling started coming down, I was just like, wow, that looks like what I remember seeing when I was young, and then I'd looked at pictures and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then, gosh, I know I'm running everything together. From the beginning, like when I really, I knew this year when I met you, and I met with a couple of other surgeons at the same time, around the time I met with you, and I knew that I was going to do it. I mean, it just felt different. I had met with surgeons before and just kind of putting my toe in, but this was different, and I got really stressed because the decision is hard to make because, especially for me, it was a big investment for my husband and I to do this, and he wasn't necessarily on board. I think now he's like, okay, he sees how happy I am, and he's like, money well spent, but it was hard. Just, what if I choose the wrong person? And you remember I asked you, what if you have a heart attack? But I was just catastrophizing, and I was really a wreck. And then after I made the decision, the whole month of December, I was just I was really worthless. I was just just get me to January 2nd. And because I just had so much anxiety and, but that's who I am. It's not, I know what it's like. I get this way over other things. But then that morning when I came, I was just strangely calm. It was just like, okay, you're in his hands now, and you were wonderful. You made me feel so relaxed. It was a fantastic experience. I mean, like I said in one of the videos I made for you, it sounds sick almost, but I had a good time that day. We laughed and we talked, and it was, there were a couple of moments that, the laser under eyes, that was one of the last things I think you did right before the stem cell microneedling. That was prickly, but it was so quick, I would tell anybody, unless you're just a person that just is I'm a needle. I don't like needles, getting my blood work done. I don't enjoy that. When I go to have my Will-Willman exam, I take ice packs. And that was, to me, a cakewalk. The surgery, I was relaxed. You were fantastic in telling me everything we were doing. I snoozed through some of it. Cassie was great. It was just, we had the music, and then that night really wasn't bad. I didn't like the drains. I know why they're necessary, so it was like that was a hump to get over. Was the drains came out, okay, then we got some relief. That was 4 days with the drains. And then I think right around that time the swelling kicked in and the bruising, and really I didn't get ugly bruise. I just looked kind of jaundiced, like it was yellow. So that's where I think the light probably, and your technique, I'm sure. So then, let's see, I lost my train of thoughts. I'm 58. Oh gosh, that's so hard for me to objectively say, but I know that in the support group that I'm in Facebook, I shared pictures of the journey throughout the way. And the last one I shared was right after I got my hair cut. And somebody said, well, I don't know how old you are, but you look well under 40. And so, I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take 40. I'll take 44. So, and I look back at pictures of me at 44, and I think I look better, right now. So my husband and I went to this meetup in our neighborhood the other night, and now it's in a bar and it's dark, but we met this gentleman from New Zealand, and I was like, oh, you've got an accent. Okay, you're exotic. Where are you from? You know, and he says, I'm from New Zealand. And I said, well, I have an accent too, but I'm from Tennessee. And he said, well, how long have you lived here? And I said, since the late 90s. And he said, God, what were you, like a teenager when you moved? I was 30. That my cheeks are in the right place. And you know what's weird is my jowls were really what was bothering me the most. Well, it was important because I didn't want to take a lot of time off. And I'm blessed to be able to work remote 2 days a week. So I stacked the vacation, so I took the days off that I normally work in the office, and then I worked remote 2 days. So I was back to work at day 7, and I was able to do it. I was irritable because, you know, I was swollen. It was more I was in my head than it was anything physical. Because I was just, you know, distorted. Really, you're literally, there's a dysmorphia that happens when you're seeing your face like this, and you're thinking, geez, I spent all this money and I'm supposed to be looking good, and what's this? And so it was hard. It was hard for me to focus that day just because I just didn't feel good. I was irritable and everything was like making me, you know, upset. But it was fine. It was totally doable. And I'm glad I didn't have to go to the office. But by the time I think I went to the office on day 13, and I looked fine. I mean, my boss, who sees me all the time, you know, I walked in and I have 3 guys that I work for, and I was like, he's the one that I would share it with. And I'm like, hey, do you notice anything? And he's like, well, you look really nice today. But, you know, at day 13, he was floored that I had, you know, when I said, well, I had a facelift. So that's why I look nice today. And then the boss that I've worked 25 years with, he's been remote a lot. He travels a lot. He's global. So he saw me for the first time yesterday. He just noticed my hair was different, you know. Oh gosh. I would just say, listen to your gut, you know. I mean, and do your research. Make sure that you look into your doctors. I mean, I talk to people you don't even know that I talk to that you worked on, just because mutual acquaintances. So make sure that that way you're comfortable with the doctor you choose. YouTube videos, because I had started, like, one of the things 8 years ago that I noticed, I had gone to see the doctor that did my bleph, and a friend of mine in Tennessee had gotten a neck lift, and she didn't do anything up here, she just did her neck, and she looked great. And so I went to see him, and he said, you know, April, I don't know what to do with this extra skin. I just won't do just a neck lift. And since that time, he doesn't even do facelifts, but he refers people to you. So anyway, I started watching, you know, the videos of surgeons out there talking about full face rejuvenation. I did this for me. This was for me. And I'm just so thankful. God, I'm going to cry. So thankful to you, Dr. Athre, because I really think that my life is going to be different now. And it's not necessarily because I look younger. It's because of how I feel on the inside. So thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. Bye.